welcome to the channel. Thanks for being here. While you guys are here, be sure to hit subscribe so that you can follow along to all the videos I upload, whether it's tutorial videos, high speed, custom orders. I got all kinds of stuff. When you hit subscribe, be sure to hit the bell that pops up and you'll be alerted to all the new videos when I upload them. Also, be sure to give this video a thumbs up to show your support. In this video, I'm going to be talking about detail saws for chainsaw carving. I'm going to show you guys the bars that I have and the saws that I'm using. Primarily going to be talking about my MSA 160C. That's this battery saw here. Alright guys, so like I said, we're going to be talking about detail saws. Mostly going to be talking about the MSA 160C. The first saw we're going to talk about is my MS 170. This is the gas powered saw. I'm sure you guys have seen these around a lot. A lot of carvers use these as their detail saws. The bar that I've got on this right now is a Canon 12-inch dime tip bar. This has got quarter pitch with a 50 gauge chain. Now, when you're looking at these things and you want to do something and turn this saw into a carving saw, you're going to have to get a kit for that. You're going to have to change the sprocket and all those sorts of things. I talked about it in other videos. In the case of the steel bar, I was able to get the bar in the kit and everything right from the dealer. Now, the Canon bars obviously don't come from steel, so those you'll find on other websites, and those websites will more than likely provide the sprocket and chain that you're going to need for that bar. Ask questions though. Make sure it's going to fit and talk to them and tell them what you have, and normally they're pretty good at working with you on getting your saw set up. So the difference between this bar and the bar on my MSA 160 is obviously Canon and steel, but this runs 50 gauge chain and this runs 43 gauge. So this chain is a lot more narrow. The kerf is much more thinner cut. Now, I had that bar on this saw for quite a while, and I had been running that saw with the stock bar. Now, the stock bar on that is a 12-inch bar that looks like this. You got a much wider or taller nose on it, so you can make some more simple cuts. With it being a battery saw, though, and being the 160, it doesn't really have a ton of power, and I really just wanted to be able to use it for detail work. And that's what I would kind of recommend it for. Detail work and small carvings. You don't really want to get into anything big with it. I did a review a while back about the saw when I first got it and showed it cutting some bigger pieces of wood. I'll actually put a link popping up here if you guys want to go back and check that out. But with the battery saw though, it is a little bit more underpowered than the gas power saw. I'd say you just don't have as much beef behind it. It has cut out on me before, getting right into a cut and just lose power. Not because there's something wrong with the saw, but because it doesn't have the butt behind it to just keep tearing through. Again though, works really great as a detail saw. The carvings that I've got behind me, I used this saw on. Let's see here. This tree I fully carved with that saw and that bar. Little tree coming up over a rock. This little bear right here, knocked him out with that saw as well. And the big guy behind me, I did all the fur and detail work on it. So with that dime tip bar and that battery saw, did all the fur pattern, wrote welcome, got all the detail work done here that you can see. As I said, it is a battery saw. Right now I'm running the 300 lithium ion battery, and I've got a 160 battery. If you guys were to get this saw, I recommend the 300s. You can get about a 50-minute runtime with this saw, and using it as a detail saw, you're not using it quite as much. Like you're not putting as much of a load on it, you know. Whereas if you were trying to block things out, you're putting a lot of load on there and you're using a lot more power. It seems as though it lasts longer doing detail work. Now I'm thinking about upgrading to the 200 because I think it'd be great to have two battery saws just for some jobs. Sometimes, you know, people don't really like all the noise. I do live in an area where there's a lot of houses around, and so my neighbors would probably appreciate me getting a second battery saw. So that's on my list. Now, these things are not cheap. They are expensive. You guys can go right to steel.com and check it out, see all their prices, find a local dealer and see what they're going for. Turning the MSA 160 battery saw into a detail saw was actually easy. It was really easy. Like I said earlier, the bar that came on it was a 12-inch quarter pitch bar, so it's already got a quarter pitch. Now I know that my dime tip detail bar is a quarter pitch, and so what that means, I was able to take the original bar right off, put my dime tip bar right on with the 43 gauge quarter pitch chain specifically for the detail bar, put that all on and just start running it. I didn't have to swap a sprocket out, I didn't have to do any of that. And so if you go to look at this saw, make sure you look to see what size everything is. Now, what do I mean by what size it is? That's the chain and the pitch, and here you can find it right here on the bar. Sorry for the lighting today, guys. Shooting this video early in the morning. Come on, camera, focus. Let's see here. I'm trying to look at it backwards with you guys. So we've got, right here says 43 gauge, all right? I don't know, camera won't focus well. But above it, it says quarter pitch. Now, when you guys are looking, this would be on the saw, and you'd be able to look that up and go, all right, this saw's already a quarter pitch with 43 gauge, 12-inch long, and I want to put a 12-inch long dime tip bar on. Hey, can you order me up a 12-inch dime, you know, blah, 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 and match it all up. It is really simple when it comes to this saw. When it comes down to changing the MS 170, that's where you may have to change the sprocket. But again, when you're looking at the saw and it's on the shelf and say you're gonna buy it, you can look right on the bar and find those numbers. And then you can talk to the service guy about what size bar and chain that you want to put on, and if they offer a kit so that you can do that. Another great way to find out this information as well is just Google it. There's all kinds of forums and guys talking about steel products, and they're more than willing to help out, and more than likely the question's already been asked and answered right on there. I get a lot of my information from those places, and YouTube is another awesome place to find that stuff as well. If you look up carving chainsaw, everything's falling off. If you look up carving chainsaws through steel, you'll actually see the MSA 200 on there. Now that's another battery saw like I mentioned earlier, and you can get that saw with the dime tip bar right on it. So go there and check that out. I just want to mention this though. I am not promoted by Steel. I get no backing from them. These are just the saws I'm running and the saws that I like to use. I'm sure I'll get some comment below, some guy ripping me apart because I forgot to mention, you know, something. Well, please shoot yourself a video, be more in depth than myself, and share it so that we can all get more knowledgeable off your knowledge. That's not being cocky, that's just knowing that I don't know it all and that some people do. So thank you, and help us out. So that's pretty much it. Just a short video talking about my battery saw and my MS 170 here, the two saws that I'm using for my detail saws right now. I plan to do a little carving video as well with just the MSA 160. I'm gonna probably actually knock that out today for you guys, maybe get you something here pretty soon so you can watch that. Gonna be doing a fun video carving up some really small bears, just using the chainsaw to carve, and then we'll use some tools to finish them up. Those bears will actually gonna be carved out of a 2x4. So we're gonna take a 2x4, we're gonna mark it off, we'll see how many bears we can actually get out of that, and walk you guys through carving those out and finishing them. So be sure to look for that video. Hope you guys enjoyed this short little video talking saws today. Be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time.